Learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not to stop questioning. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Everything has its wonders, even darkness and silence, and I learn, whatever state I may be in, therein to be content. In youth we learn, in age we understand. You can't win unless you learn how to lose. Cricket is such a sport that you get to learn something from someone every day. That men do not learn very much from the lessons of history is the most important of all the lessons of history. It's what you learn after you know it all that counts. We never really grow up. We only learn how to act in public. Computers themselves, and software yet to be developed, will revolutionize the way we learn. Always desire to learn something useful. Every immigrant who comes here should be required within 5 years to learn English or leave the country. It is not enough to conquer. One must learn to seduce. Failure is success if we learn from it. Every project is an opportunity to learn, to figure out problems and challenges, to invent and reinvent. Learn to be what you are, and learn to resign with a good grace all that you are not. There is only one rule for being a good talker: learn to listen. To be a good loser is to learn how to win. Let us learn to appreciate there will be times when the trees will be bare, and look forward to the time when we may pick the fruit. We can only learn to know ourselves and do what we can, namely, surrender our will and fulfill God's will in us. A chef is a mixture maybe of artistry and craft. You have to learn the craft really to get there. Learn to think continentally. There's always something that you can learn, and something you can teach. I never desired to please the rabble. What pleased them, I did not learn, and what I knew was far removed from their understanding. I am a woman in process. I'm just trying like everybody else. I try to take every conflict, every experience, and learn from it. Life is never dull. If I don't learn something every single day, it's a wasted day. I like to learn. That's an art and a science. Man can learn nothing except by going from the known to the unknown. I don't have regrets. There are only lessons. You learn from them, and you become a better person. What we learn only through the ears makes less impression upon our minds than what is presented to the trustworthy eye. Wise are those who learn that the bottom line doesn't always have to be their top priority. But when will our leaders learn? War is not the answer. Governments never learn, only people learn. A tough lesson in life that one has to learn is that not everybody wishes you well. People can change, learn, and grow, and it's better to face your demons instead of perpetually running away from them. The more mistakes you make, the more you learn. The person you consider ignorant and insignificant is the one who came from God, that he might learn bliss from grief and knowledge from gloom. You can learn many things from children, how much patience you have, for instance. It is always in season for old men to learn. You can't learn everything you need to know legally. Sometimes you surf well and still don't win. It happens to everyone. You learn that one big score doesn't mean much if you don't have a backup. I guess every rookie learns that as time goes by. I took some big lessons from my losses. If you keep an open mind, you can learn so much from the people around you. Want to learn to eat a lot? Here it is. Eat a little. That way, you will be around long enough to eat a lot. It takes a long time to learn that a courtroom is the last place in the world for learning the truth. When you learn that a truth is a lie, anger follows. To wonder about life is not something we learn, it is something we forget. When it comes to your partner, you have to choose the right person, knowing you can live with them for the rest of your life. Learn from each other and grow in every way. Children learn to smile from their parents. So then learn to conquer your fear. This is the only art we have to master nowadays, to look at things without fear and to fearlessly do right. If the Romans had been obliged to learn Latin, they would never have found time to conquer the world. To learn patience is not to rebel against every hardship. I still have a lot to learn, and I still have a lot to prove. We learn the rope of life by untying its knots. I think you can learn from pretty much everybody if you just open your eyes. If you learn how to forgive others for not being strong, then people can learn how to forgive you for your own issues. I'm just smart enough to know what it is I don't know and try to learn as I go along and accept that you're going to make mistakes. And there are going to be things that are not going to be perfect. It is easy to get everything you want, provided you first learn to do without the things you cannot get. If man doesn't learn to treat the oceans and the rainforest with respect, man will become extinct. You learn in this business that you want a friend, get a dog. As we grow, we learn to handle situations differently than we normally would. I'm lucky to be surrounded by incredibly talented people at Pixar, of course, and I learn a lot from them each and every day. You can learn from anyone, even your enemy. Sometimes you have to step away from what you love in order to learn how to love it again. Learn to adjust yourself to the conditions you have to endure, but make a point of trying to alter or correct conditions so that they are most favorable to you. Learning the Italian was tough. I tried to really come at from a purist perspective, really learn the grammar, syntax, and conjugations. My experiences have taught me a lot, and I'm happy with my learnings, if not with what I went through to learn. The Bible is a revelation of the mind and will of God to men. Therein we may learn what God is. To increase our objectivity, we must learn to switch off the mini-movies. Objectivity requires us to be mindful, present in the moment, and experiencing what is happening without judgment. Experience keeps a dear school, but fools will learn in no other. It's true that no child is born knowing there's an evil thing. You learn what is ugly. Amateurs do tactics, experts do logistics, as we learn in the military. You can't learn in school what the world is going to do next year. No one can read with profit that which he cannot learn to read with pleasure. I learn something every time I go into the mountains. I love to learn new things, even though I might not master it. That takes a lot of time. We have to learn to live with fewer imports and more exports, promoting national production. I have found that I always learn more from my mistakes than from my successes. If you aren't making some mistakes, you aren't taking enough chances. With trials, you become wiser. You learn more about yourself and the people surrounding you. Me personally, I've never been the type of person to judge anyone over wrongdoing, no matter what it is. I'm just not a judgmental person. Every day that you're on set is a new day to learn something. Every time you're there, there's something new that you'll notice or something that you'll miss, and you think of something new that you can do. Is there anyone so wise as to learn by the experience of others? We all walk in the dark, and each of us must learn to turn on his or her own light. Writing is an exploration. You start from nothing and learn as you go. We cannot learn men from books. Coming generations will learn equality from poverty and love from woes. We can learn something new anytime we believe we can. You learn to cook so that you don't have to be a slave to recipes. You get what's in season and you know what to do with it. Somebody asked me, How come it took you so long to win a national championship? And I said, I'm a slow learner. But you notice when I learn something, I have it down pretty good. I learned English in a pub. I didn't learn it in school. There's so many kids who only know me from the video game. And they want to know if I'm home and if I have a video game I can give them on Halloween. And sometimes they're surprised to learn there actually is a Madden. I came to parenting the way most of us do, knowing nothing and trying to learn everything. The ultimate lesson all of us have to learn is unconditional love, which includes not only others but ourselves as well. To learn to get along without, to realize that what the world is going to demand of us may be a good deal more important than what we are entitled to demand of it. This is a hard lesson. When you learn to code, it opens up for you to learn many other things. The twists and turns of your life can be so unexpected, and that's a good thing to learn. I've learned the lesson that when you're in the middle of something that seems overwhelming, or you're in a bad situation and it seems like it's the end of the world or whatever, then you learn that it's not. You learn as much from doing a bad film as a good one.